This story. The 2021 September Household Affordability Index paints a very concerning picture of poverty and inequality. The report has found that there's been little to no improvements in addressing poverty and equality in the country. It further warns that the child support grant has lost value over the past years. It's said to be insufficient to meet a child's needs. I'm not surprised with inflation having done what it has done, but let's speak about this now. The man who knows all the details and the data is Mervyn Abrahams from the Pietermaritzburg Economic Justice and Dignity Group. Mervyn, good afternoon. It's good to talk to you again, although the subject we're talking about is not a good one. Your latest, the September 2021 Household Affordability Index, and reporting, of course, on the latest food poverty lines, is showing that poverty and inequality in the country are in fact worsening.
Good afternoon, Dan, and good afternoon to all your viewers. Yes, so it is worsening because inflation is pushing the poverty levels higher, while the actual household income, so the child support grant and the wages, are not keeping track with the level of inflation. And so you're seeing this gap between what we should be having and what things cost, and the amount of money we have in our pockets to purchase those are ever widening. And we see that in the most stark way with the child support grant, which is standing at 460 Rand per month, but actually the latest poverty line, food poverty line, shows that a child would need at the minimum 624 Rand to be able to afford sufficient and nutritious food for the month.
Now, without being too technical, which parts of this food pricing challenge that are really contributing to this high inflation? Because from your answer there, it seems like food price inflation is much higher than the normal CPI, if not double.
Yes, so that is absolutely true, Dan. If we look at the CPI from Stats South Africa, then we would see the main driver of food inflation, or the main driver for CPI headline inflation, is actually food and beverages. And then when we look at deeper into the index, we see that food constitutes about 15% of Stats SA CPI. But when you look at our data, for low-income households, you see that they spend about 60% of their income on food. So inflation impacts much more lower-income households than it does the average or the top earners in the country.
I mean, there's currently a debate going on, and government has told us that they are discussing the introduction of a universal basic income grant, which should be at the poverty line. You've mentioned that the updated food poverty line is about 624 Rand, you said, per capita per month, but that child support grant is sitting at about 460 Rand per child per month. I mean, you can see the gap there. I wonder the gap totally when you look at the whole food basket of the month against the national kind of average poverty line. What's the gap there? What are we talking about? What are the numbers looking like at that level? Oh, Mervyn, we seem to have lost you there. Wi-Fi not playing ball with us. Are you there, Mervyn?
Yes, I am.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, your line froze there. Yeah, your line froze there a little bit. Yeah. What does it look like? What are the numbers saying there?
So it says that the upper bound poverty line is about 135 Rand. So that's what every person in South Africa needs per month in order to live just above the poverty line. But that is to be taken into consideration with household levels of income. So if you take a national minimum wage, which is about 3,300 or 600, and you divide that by 4, because every worker has to subsidize about 4 people, then you end up with a number of 910 Rand, which is lower than that poverty line. So actually our minimum wage also, the result of that is that it is lower than the poverty line.
Okay, thank you very much, Mervyn. But the picture is indeed dire. The poverty line is an issue. Poverty and inequality, therefore, worsening in the country. That's the latest numbers according to that Household Affordability Index.